It's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin makes an incredible play. Golden looks out of the gun, runs the option, keeps it. He is into the end zone for the Knights touchdown.
Welcome to Knightline Post-Game Live. When the clock expires, we go live. Knight Nation's only post-game call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Knight Nation. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Post-Game Live. What a crazy, crazy game. There's people stopping by and saying hello. Knights win it, 11-0, 11-0. All right, we got a couple people here with us. Carson Engel is here, and then Joshua from Knoxville. He calls all the time. He decided to come and say hi. It's awesome. Thank you to the Travis Dever and the Dever team, by the way. We couldn't do this without them. We really appreciate what they do. 49-42, UCF over the freaking Cows. I'm excited tonight. I'm excited. Unbelievable. Carson, what did you think, man?
An ugly game. There was tons wrong. We gave up way too many big plays over and over, and it seems like UCF could never get momentum on either side of the ball. They somehow were able to hang through, claw back, and I'm interested to hear when Trace comes over what he'll say about what they said about how they were able to fuel their energy off of the crowd, because I think that went a long way tonight. Knight Nation was incredible in there tonight. I think that carried this team through a victory, and the one name you'll need to remember tonight, and a name that's going to go down in Knight history, Mike Hughes, a junior college transfer, comes about, a week and a half before the season this year. He's been UCF's best corner. He had a huge interception before the half in this game, and then that kick return back to put it up for the Knights. So Mike Hughes has basically stamped his legacy for UCF
Absolutely.
for all time.
I mean, 100%. Joshua,
the USF Bulls have been kicking it in the end zone the whole game, and the first time that they let Mike return it, he takes it to the house. I'm sure they're regretting that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, the first quarter, 21. We put up 21 quickly, and I was like, okay, we're gonna start doing it. But obviously, their D has been ranked pretty well this whole year, and so they kind of started making some adjustments. It looks like in the second quarter, and we ultimately, like Carson said, called back in, and the fans were in it.
All right, let's go to the phones. Hey, you're on Knightline. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Andy from Oviedo.
Hey, man. What did you think of that craziness tonight?
Oh, my gosh. I thought I lost about 5 years off my life. But it's absolutely the most amazing home game I have ever seen or been a part of.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was insane. Insane numbers put up by both teams. So, I'm kind of speechless. I hate to be speechless after games like this, because this is what I'm supposed to do.
That's not good on a radio.
I know.
On radio.
I know. But, I was standing here inside Burger U. We're at Burger U, by the way. There's a bunch of people here, and I appreciate everybody being here. We got a great little crowd here. It's awesome. So, unbelievable. What else do you want to say about the game there, Andrew?
Best thing I could say is that our defense can work in a tight, low-scoring, and in a shootout situation. That don't break defense works at both facets. And what a sigh of relief when I saw that fumble.
Well, I was thinking, I was thinking the entire time. The thing that I was worried about the entire time for the season was the defensive backs. We definitely had a few issues with the defensive backs tonight, and I kept sitting there going, this is what I was worried about, but in the end they came through, they got it done, it was enough. So Andrew, thank you very much for calling, man. We really appreciate it. 11-0, go Knights.
Yeah, one of 3 teams now officially.
All right, take care.
Miami lost earlier tonight, so one of 3 teams officially. We'll see next week.
3 teams left.
And again, we're getting to the point in the season, and tomorrow's going to be crazy. Alabama, Auburn, all the rivalry games that take place on Rivalry Saturday. And this is my argument. This has been my only thing about having a gripe about where UCF is placed in the college football playoff rankings. listen, I'm fine if you have Power 5 teams that move through their schedule and they go undefeated, or maybe they lose a game, but they've got the resume at the end of the day against the schedule they play in that kind of conference to merit inclusion into the playoff. If you've got 4 teams like that, I'm fine with that. But the way that I've seen this season begin to play out, and again, it rears its ugly head with Miami today, and perhaps it again props up with Auburn beating Alabama tomorrow. UCF, at the end of next week, if they're able to win the conference championship, I think they're going to have a very valid argument that they should be included into the 4, and they're not going to be anywhere near the 4 to be able to make that case, and that's what the committee's wanted to do. They've wanted to keep UCF down for that exact scenario, and that's been my problem with it all year long.
Absolutely. It's crazy. To me, it's absolutely crazy that, we should at least be in the top 10. That's all I want.
Right. Put them in striking distance.
Yeah.
That puts you in striking distance.
Right.
You put them around in Ohio State, a Penn State, right in that 8-9 range, and you're right there. If chaos ensues, you can say, look at us, look at what we've done, give us a shot.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the phones again. Hey, you're on Knightline. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
This is John, longtime listener, first-time caller. I listened to your advice this week, and I called in tonight after I witnessed that beautiful kick return by Mike Hughes.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was incredible, wasn't it?
Insane. I mean, it was, I can't even believe it as a fan. I've been watching them all season. This was clutch time. This was the time they needed to perform, and they did it.
Absolutely.
Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, all kinds of clutch things were going on there tonight. There were a few things, like I said, the defensive backs that really worried me the entire night. But I guess,
at the end of the day, this is a rivalry game. It is tough, head versus head, team versus team. We won it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here's the deal. USF put up 503 yards passing. That's insane. 503 yards. We put up 373. The total offense for USF, 653 yards. The total offense for UCF, 561.
And look, I would say everybody take this week, maybe go to a meditation session, maybe get a back rub, maybe get a massage, check your defibrillators, because if they play like this next week, it's going to be the same story back here at Spectrum Stadium, because this Memphis team's on fire. They can score at will, and I expect another game very similar to this next week.
Absolutely.
I think one difference was...
Okay, absolutely. I guarantee it. That might happen, but you know what? I feel the momentum. I feel the pride as a UCF Knight. Let's charge on, boys.
Woo! Absolutely. Thank you for calling. Really appreciate it.
I feel like one thing the South Florida might have that Memphis doesn't have is their defense started keying in and rushing. Milton was he was rushing his passes, and so they were going short, and you saw him behind the wide receivers or the running backs a little bit, and that hurt our passing game
I think
a lot.
that's a great point. I don't think Memphis is going to provide that kind of opposition next week. Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of times, especially early in that game, where just the UCF offense couldn't get going, and part of that is the credit of the USF defense really stymieing them, making it difficult, really collapsing the pocket on Mackenzie Milton. So that's a great point. Definitely credit the USF defense, and maybe UCF's got a little more room to work with next week, but that could even make for a crazier game. We'll just have to find out and see.
Unbelievable. My ESPN app just crashed here. I was going to give more stats, but it is what it is. So, I mean, so special teams play, defensive play, all kinds of stuff going on. So we're going to trade headsets here. We're going to have another guy come on. I'm sorry, man. I forgot your name. Ryan. He listens all the time. He's here. Ryan, what did you think? What was your deal with this game tonight?
Great performance. The defense scared me. I mean, if we play like that against Memphis with Riley Ferguson, I think we're going to get burned a lot. It's going to be really close. I mean, number 8 out of nowhere had 4 or 5 huge catches just way behind Neville Clark, and we can't do that next week against Memphis if we want to win the title.
Well, Neville Clark got taken out in the first half, completely taken out, and they put Brandon Moore in.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me. Absolutely. I thought he got exposed, and that's hard. I mean, obviously he had that huge suspension. You guys talked about it on Knightline basically every week, about, hey, Peyton's not here, Clark's not here, they're going to come back at some point. And I feel like it's hard to acclimate yourself back into the flow of the football team. I mean, Brandon Moore was doing a nice job.
Yeah.
Some of the other defensive backs have been doing good in his absence. So obviously they feel like he's the most talented guy on the roster, but late in the season like that, I don't know how easy that is for him to get acclimated.
I like the guy. I talked to his dad. He's a good guy. But, when you play like that, he was the one that got burned for that first touchdown. He was the one that got burned a couple times,
Right.
I mean, it just – when it's like that, you got to take the guy out and put the guy that can handle it in, and Brandon Moore handled it most of the night. Then they put him back in, and Neville made some plays. So you take a guy like that out and then, let him sit there for a while and see what he was doing wrong, think about what he was doing wrong, put him back in, and he does a little bit better. So.
I thought the other unique thing tonight on the other side of things, it was not an easy afternoon and evening for Traquan Smith, but
right.
His talent was still able to show through, and he had several huge catches throughout the course of that ball game that were in pivotal spots. He showed you why he's an NFL receiver today. It wasn't easy for him. He wasn't able to just blitz up the field like he has against some of these other opponents maybe in the American, but he was still able to have some really, really pivotal catches in the game and get his.
Absolutely. All right, 407-401-9184, 407-401-9184. This is Knightline, post-game live, and we are at Burger U. Got great food, cold beer. This place is packed tonight.
And a great staff, I should say.
A great
All the guys
staff,
here,
absolutely.
They get you
100%.
in, they get you out. They'll make sure you get a drink or whatever you need. They're really, really good about that.
Thank you to Darren here and Scott for letting us do this. We really appreciate it. This is been one of the coolest things that we've ever done, obviously, being here all year. So very, very cool. I love it when everybody stops by. There's been a bunch of people tonight and all that. So we're waiting for Trace to come over, and he's going to tell us what they're saying in the post game. I saw on the TV, Frost was very excited at the end. I hope this that showing out there of the crowd being there and being into it like they were maybe shows Frost that there's even more of a reason to stay here. I don't think that that's what makes coaches stay at schools.
No.
I know there's a lot of people that say that, but that's not what it is.
I think it factors, right? I mean, it's at least a small factor if it's anything. I think the thing that I like the most, though, is right after that game, they had the Danny White, and you, Andrew, you had to come out to set up here, so you weren't able to see this perhaps, but right after the game, Danny White, they had him right up on the video board saying, look, we've got a conference championship game next week. Please come out. Let's pack this place out again. And I thought to kind of capture your audience that way right off the bat, they were really smart to have that ready to go. And you know what? UCF's always done a really good job of filling up conference championship games, even on short notice. That's normally how it works. They did a great job in the Citrus Bowl in 2005. They've done a great job at the two games I've been in Conference USA here in 2007 and 2010. So I think that it's within the fan base, especially after what everybody was able to see out there tonight, to produce that kind of crowd and that kind of atmosphere next week here.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that they're going to be able to fill it? Do you think that that's going to happen?
I think that's very possible.
I think it's going to be packed next week.
Maybe it's not quite to.
Yeah, not tonight. I mean, tonight was. I mean, there's few games that were as electrifying as Spectrum Stadium was tonight,
right.
And that'll be hard to match. But I don't think Frost is staying or leaving based on one crowd. But
No.
I think tonight shows him the potential here, what he can build, what he can stay and grow, and what this fan base truly can be.
I wish that it was like that every game here.
Me too.
I mean, I understand with some of the teams that we play and stuff like that, and I understand it's not the most exciting thing in the world sometimes, but all right, we're going to take another phone call. Hey, you're on Knightline. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? It's Matt from 50 feet away from you.
I thought I saw you here, and then I saw your name pop up on the line.
You guys are too packed, man. I'll let everyone get.
Matt, we just high-fived, man. Like what's?
Come back. Put the headset on.
So, Matt, what did you think of the game tonight?
They wanted this game, man. They wanted it. They threw every single thing. By the way, USF division champion or a conference title at all. So they wanted this, and they threw everything, so we pulled it up.
All right, Matt, your cell phone signal is not so great, so come over here and put the headset on and talk to us.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Awesome. That's great. Now we have people calling from like 50 feet away. We just saw him. I was like, when I saw his name, I'm like, what is he doing? So anyway, if I can get back to stats here at some point,
Let me pose something to you guys about the running game and kind of see what your thoughts are on it. I don't know if he's hurt or they just think he's too young and not ready, but I didn't like some of the way that we handled the running game tonight. I don't understand why we're using a 5'8", buck 35 or buck 40 Adrian Killens and running this guy up the middle. That's not his game. We did the same thing with Otis Anderson. I would love to see a Cordarian Richardson. They use McCray a little bit. I saw him in there every once in a while, but I've been wondering why there hasn't been more of that, because at some point you need that diversity of a run game. We love what those guys do, right? What Otis and what Adrian do, but you also need that power run game.
I don't think,
and I think they needed it today too.
I think the point of AK up the middle is to keep them honest. I mean, if he's in the game and you don't run him up the middle,
but it's just not an effective way to use him.
No, but I mean, if you don't run up the middle, they just expect this sweep, screen pass, whatever. You run him up the middle, and he was getting 5, 6, 7 yards tonight. You keep the defense honest. I mean, you keep them thinking, not knowing which way AK is going to go. And I think that's the point of running them up the middle for 4 or 5 yards.
All right, going to take a commercial break here. We'll be right back.
Real estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline and Knightline Postgame Live. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
All right, I cut my buddy off, Travis Dever there. So that was for the Dever team. Travis Dever helps us out tremendously. Goes if you're needing a house in New Smyrna Beach or any real estate over there, definitely go and go to thedeverteam.com and check him out. Absolutely. Going to the phones again. You're on Knightline. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Ken, calling from just outside the stadium.
All right, Ken, man, what's going on? What'd you think? What went on out there tonight?
Oh, that was an amazing game. Amazing game. Both teams played so hard, and I think I developed more respect tonight for USF than I ever have had in the past. Quentin Flowers put a hell of a game, but we wanted it a little bit more.
I don't know about that.
You know what? I agree with Ken. Like, I wanted to be nasty, and I wanted to kind of boo him, and I wanted to tell him, get out of here, and we don't want to see you again. And you know what? All I could muster at the end of that game was gratitude.
That's true.
And to say that was a hell of a ball game. Credit to our guys, and you know what? Give it up to them too. I couldn't get there in the rivalry. I hate you like I was before the game. Because of the game.
I'll give it to the USF fans. I sat in the East Side Club in the Cabana. There were way too many USF fans in there, but they were all really nice. They congratulated us on the win after they respected the performance, and that I can appreciate. It didn't get nasty in there, and that I liked.
I didn't see fights or anything, and that's good. I mean, it's best when that stuff does not happen.
I saw some of our own fans fighting, which was weird earlier. But yeah, no USF on UCF crime. That's for sure. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's good.
And Andrew, for myself, the stat of the game: 6 for 38, 6 penalties for 38 yards. Such a huge improvement for us. Not giving free yards to the other team.
I haven't even gotten
the
through
way
those.
they were playing, that could have turned the game around.
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely. Somebody was asking me if I wanted a drink. It's all good, thank you.
You're the mayor of Burger U, Andrew.
I know.
That's how it works now.
It's nice. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing. I wish people in here could hear us. That's the only thing. Ken, by the way, if you guys don't realize, this is Ken that's been writing some articles for us. We've been putting them on Facebook. I haven't been able to post them to my website, unfortunately. I got website issues. So if anybody out there does websites and wants to help us out, I would greatly appreciate it. Give me a call or email
websites,
me.
Andrew.
You do websites?
Professionally, yeah.
Oh, well, you're the man.
I'm right here.
I did not know that.
Cancel the all out.
All right.
I'm right here.
Forget that. We got a guy right here then. He's going to help us.
All right. Well, hey, it's a great night, and I'm going to drop off so you can have more callers. But go Knights.
Thanks, Ken, and your articles are great, man. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Take care, guys.
All right, man. So, great. We'll have to talk about that afterwards.
Absolutely.
I did not know that. I didn't know. So,
all right, I mean, what do you guys think? We heard coming in, stop the run, you shut them down. We held, our front seven played lights out. We couldn't stop the pass, and we barely shut them down. Everyone said, you shut down, Flowers on the run, you shut down the run game, and we'll be fine.
We weren't able to do it, is what
we did. We shut down the run.
We didn't shut down. We shut down their backs. We didn't shut down Quentin Flowers.
Right, yeah. Well, and if you saw, like at halftime, right before halftime, they had -4 rushing yards.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's a lot more than that. The ESPN app is not working, so my stats are all screwed up. Let's go to the phone real quick. You're on Knightline. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
This is Richard from Arizona.
Hey, Richard from Arizona. What did you think of the game tonight? What did it look like on TV?
Yeah. I'm sorry, say that again?
What did you think of the game tonight, and what did it look like on TV?
It was great on TV. It really was. And the best part of the game, I think, was the fact that we had such great participation in the stands. I just love seeing the stands completely full.
It was absolutely awesome. There was definitely, the place was just absolutely packed. So, one of the coolest things is, I don't know if they showed it on TV, but with everybody holding up the phones
my mom
and stuff
saw
like
it.
that.
My mom was like, that's
100%.
awesome. Yeah.
When we started doing the lights in the second half, I was like, that's amazing.
Where did that come from? Did that just sort of organically happen?
It was space game.
Yeah, it was the space game in the Starry
So we
Night
just finally decided to do it? Is that
I guess so, but that needs to be a thing for night games.
That should be
here.
a thing going forward forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It looked great.
All right, Richard, any other thoughts?
No, I just, that run pass, I'm a little late. I don't know what you guys have been talking about, but that run pass option in the first quarter by Milton I thought was absolutely brilliant. And then Mike Hughes, I tell you, that guy is something else. He is a playmaker.
What an absolute incredible pickup that was to get him late. He stepped on the campus and immediately started, and now we know why. We've seen this entire season, and we know why he has, and that man will play on Sundays. I guarantee it.
I agree with you.
All right, there's going to be a bunch of kids, I think, once this is over, that are going to be playing on Sundays. I think you're going to see a lot more UCF Knights playing on Sundays.
For sure.
Because this thing is going to keep going.
And you know what? That's something I never expected, because George O'Leary's a pro-style coach, right? Runs a pro-style system. I kind of thought when Scott Frost came here that our days of kind of being a pipeline of the NFL, as we've been, and kind of almost produced a lot of diamond in the roughs, right? Guys that weren't regarded that highly but came in and just shined. I didn't expect to maybe see that out of Scott Frost's group, and there are NFL guys up and down the roster, including that guy tonight. My favorite player on the team. I'm telling you, I was yelling his name all night, Mike Hughes.
Savior of the game.
Unbelievable.
100%. That return at the end.
All right, Richard, thank you for calling, man. We really appreciate it.
I love your game. I love your show. Keep going.
Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. All right. Unbelievable. All right, so now I have some stats finally. I don't know what was going on, but the app wasn't refreshing for me. Milton, 29 of 44 for 373 yards. Gosh, those headsets when you guys bang them around suck. So anyway, Milton, 29 of 44, 373 yards, 8.5 average, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Killins led the rushing, 15 carries, 82 yards, 5.5 average with a TD. Milton also had a TD on the ground. And we were kind of talking there, so we have somebody else joining us here. I don't know your name, unfortunately.
This is Tom from Austin.
Tom from Austin. All right, man. Awesome. Welcome. What did you think of the game tonight?
I thought the game was great. I wish we would have taken care of business a little bit better than we did. However, a win is a win, and I am so very happy.
Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. We were just kind of going to go over some stats here. Numbers 407-401-9184, by the way. 407-401-9184. Snelson led the receiving tonight. Lots of receivers. What I love about this offense, and I don't say it enough, is how much the ball gets spread around in this offense. You can see right here there's like 10 guys that caught passes tonight. I don't know if that's actually the number, but I don't want to count out loud, so I think it's at least 10, maybe 11. Kubiali came up big, actually, on a couple plays.
Huge
Very
play.
big for him. He's a senior. That's the other thing, guys. This was a big deal for these seniors that were, this could have been their last game as a Knight. And you know how much I love Shaquem Griffin.
Yeah.
You know how much, that whole situation means to me. And to have them, get to play in an American championship game and now a better bowl game, it's incredible.
Well, you guys always talk about the number of underclassmen contributing, but sitting there tonight for senior night, hearing all these seniors' names called and being like, oh my goodness, the amount that these guys have contributed to this season is amazing. Like, you don't realize how many seniors have really made this season special.
And Pittman and, Evans and all those guys.
And
we're going to lose a lot of guys.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of scares me, especially on the defensive line.
And the whole front seven, the line and the linebackers. We're losing Burkett, we're losing Pittman. Those are huge losses for our front seven.
Well, let's talk about Hughes tonight. Is he leaving school? I don't know.
He's definitely going to be playing at Sunday at some point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, nobody will say that stuff until after a bowl game, but I'm not sure if I think that he would have another year if he wants to. I would expect Traquan to go. That's the biggest one.
Traquan's gone.
He's gone.
He's going to be playing on Sunday for sure. He's continuing our wide receiver U legacy in the NFL 100%.
Right.
For sure.
It was cool to see Latavius Murray there tonight.
Yeah.
Very cool to see him.
But Mike Hughes made the difference tonight. That was amazing.
Absolutely.
The run back at the end.
The run back at the end to seal the deal.
Amazing.
I actually was at Burger U by that time. I wish that I would have been able to. I have to get over here early to get this table and set my gear up. I have to.
It was glorious.
It was.
Yeah.
That was top five. That was top 5 bounce house moments.
Yeah.
For sure.
I left with 3 minutes to go. I have to get over here. I
respect that because I love the show. I respect that you come set up, but Mike Hughes running it back was top 5 bounce house moments for sure.
And do you guys know who recovered the fumble? Was it Jasinski?
I was so nuts when the fumble got recovered that the game was over. We had it in the bag. It didn't matter what the number on the jersey was because, those guys.
Actually, it was Shaquan Burkett.
They've been preaching all season to play for the guy next to you.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they cared who recovered it, just that we sealed the deal.
Absolutely. All right. So, Shaquem Griffin led the tackles with 9 total tackles, 6 solo, 2 quarterback hurries. There was only, sacks on here. There was 3 sacks tonight.
There wasn't a ton
Griffin had a half, and Gerard had a half. That's the other guy that's leaving at the end of the year as a senior, Tony Gerard. And
there wasn't a ton of turnovers either for 2 teams that are high up in the country in turnover margin. I thought that would be the difference maker. And McKenzie threw a pick that is negligible whether or not it was a good or bad pass, but the turnovers tonight were pretty even. It wasn't the difference maker like I thought it would be.
Yeah, that was one of those really quick passes where he just, I don't know if he threw off the wrong foot or didn't see the guy or whatever, but it was directly to the guy basically, and it happens every once in a while. So no fumbles out of the backfield. That was nice to see.
For sure.
So this game coming up with Memphis is going to be huge. I mean, it is absolutely going to be huge.
It's hard to put away the same team twice in 1 year. I mean,
exactly.
Even the SEC, you see Alabama deal with this. I mean, they can't put away the same team if they got to see them in the title game again. And, we put away Memphis. We handled them handedly at the beginning of the season. They've progressed great throughout the season. I think it's going to be a challenge after getting up so much for this game to turn around and get up again next week for Memphis at a noon game. I mean, we're going to have to bring everything we have to beat them, and they're going to be up for it for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Hopefully we can get the crowd like we had. Like I said, we said this earlier. Hopefully we can get a crowd like we had today. It seems like later than it is. It's 8 o'clock. That game.
It is.
I mean, it feels like midnight. It's 8:22.
That game took a long time with the television timeouts and stuff. Anything on the major networks like that.
And that's what you take for playing, ABC prime time. You got to take those TV timeouts.
Do we know how the tickets are for next week? Have we heard anything?
I mean, the season ticket holders got their pay by noon today. I bought mine for sure.
I did too. I bought 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think most people, it just, charged your card as soon as they won.
I don't know if we're going to have the turnout we had tonight. I mean, I had family that have never been to a UCF
Let's talk
game.
about how amazing tonight was. That crowd was amazing.
It was insane.
I haven't seen it packed to the corners through the end of the game, I don't think ever. I mean, Texas, South Carolina, Miami, beginning of the game for sure, but with the game on the line in the fourth quarter, I don't think I've seen it all the way to the corners, jumping like that.
And everybody wearing black.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the lights. We were talking about this
the
earlier.
lights
That's
were
working.
awesome, yeah.
That is working. That's a new tradition.
I feel bad for the people that aren't at Burger U and that are trying to get off the campus now because I know that's going to...
I don't even remember the last time that we had a game that close. Maybe when we lost to Maryland last year in 3 overtimes. I remember being miserable in traffic. You got to think that the people in traffic listening to us now, though, are at least happy that we came out with a win. That makes the traffic a little more bearable.
Somebody needs to call that's sitting out there in traffic.
Yeah, call
407-401-9184. 407-401-9184.
Where's Travis? I know he's on a bus somewhere. He's got to call in.
They're probably still in the parking lot. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're going to try to have a couple more people come on here. There's a couple people that I know that are standing here that I really would like to talk to. So, all right, whoever. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, as soon as he puts that headset on, I will introduce him. How you doing tonight, sir?
That was such a fabulous, incredible victory.
Kevin Reitz, ladies and gentlemen.
The one, the only.
Hey, believe me.
Been wanting to see you come out and say hi for quite a while. Hello.
Yeah, I just finished eating over at Domino's around the corner. And I think I'll come back, and I'm no hurry to leave the campus tonight. But, it was such a great victory because all these years, that we've had big crowds, like for the Texas game in South Carolina, we never won those games. And even though they were close, so this is a game where we had a gigantic crowd and won. And that's just
feels
fabulous.
Great.
Oh,
I mean, feels great.
Well, we were asking on Twitter and stuff, and we've talked about it, how big of a game this was for UCF, period, in the long run of things. You've been around for a long time. You've seen a lot of it. You were here, I think, from the beginning, right, with football?
Oh, yeah.
We've talked to you on our show.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
I used to inflate the footballs for Abraham Lincoln.
That's awesome. I didn't know Abe played here. But so what do you think in the gist of all of this? How big is this?
Well, it's just fabulous. Like I said, it's something that a lot of us who've been with the program for so many years. But, we've seen the program keep growing and growing and growing little by little. Getting the on-campus stadium was certainly a gigantic shot in the arm for the program, and then and Coach O'Leary made it really stable and got us that Fiesta Bowl victory and the guys. And so stuff like this, and now you're talking about an undefeated season, which, I mean, Cal, sometimes you just want to call a timeout and say, hey, can I just have 2 days of enjoying this, without some other stress?
That's the tough part of this season is we don't get to enjoy it. It's Scott Frost is going to Florida. He's going to Nebraska.
We were down at the basketball game yesterday.
Oh, goodness.
UCF and Nebraska, and I tell you what, the Nebraska fans, they definitely got that on their mind.
Well, now they probably want our basketball coach, too.
Yeah, you can't have Dawkins either, Nebraska fans.
No, believe me, hey, what you guys are doing is just another step in the evolution, too, of these podcasts, which I love, listen to them, especially when you interview the opposing teams, media people, and they give such great insight. And certainly Kyle Israel does a fabulous job on Insight. So your podcast, your guys' podcasts are fabulous. So
thank you.
Anyway,
I appreciate it.
I'm just going to go and relax and
enjoy
the win, man.
All right, Kevin.
Take care, you guys.
Kevin Reese, everybody, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. Well, very cool. We're still waiting on Trace. There must be it must be crazy over there in the post game.
It must be the greatest Scott Frost. I was joking with some buddies. I just want Scott Frost to come out and play the Wolf at Wall Street gif.
I'm
not leaving.
Yeah. We can't say exactly what that says.
No, not on a Knightline.
Yeah, I mean, we're on YouTube. We could, but I try to keep it so the kids can listen.
I respect that.
I'm going to play a commercial here. We'll be right back.
Night Nation, now that the football season has started, you're going to need all the tailgating supplies and clothing for the rest of the season. And the best place to get all of your favorite night stuff is Fan Addicts. Please go to our website, UCFNightlinePodcast.com. Click the Fan Addicts logo to find the best selection and best prices for everything you need.
All right, Carson joins us again. And
Ryan.
Oh my God!
This guy's gonna make a website for you.
I feel so bad.
You better figure his name out.
Do you know how many people I've met today? I've met a lot of people. Got a light on the mic. All right, can you hear that, guys? That is Burger U chanting UCF. Just because there was a replay or something on TV.
Let me give you a little bit of a recap of kind of what I've walked around the room and found out. The reach of this game today on ABC, I think it's going to be incredible.
It's got to be up there with our games a lot.
I can't wait to see the numbers.
My cell phone's currently dead, but people were reading me tweets off of, Colin Cowherd, Dan Lebitard. The list goes on and on of media personalities who just praised what a game that was and the atmosphere here. And those are the games that you live for that.
Yeah.
As if you're Danny White, if you're trying to build this program, if you're trying to show the country who we are and what we're all about, I think it's going to be really, really great for UCF.
I think this is the game we've waited for since the first meeting in 2005. I think both schools, whether they wanted to claim to schedule this game or not, this is what we've waited for. Mike Arseco said it this week. This is what we've been waiting for. A true what our both schools are capable of at their peak, going head-to-head at the end of the season with all the marbles on the line.
Obviously two great teams. I will give it to the Cows.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I got that here someplace. We'll do it here.
I can't.
I should have played that when Kevin Reese was sitting here. I felt so.
There we go.
I got to do it.
I want to hate them, and all I have is gratitude. That's all I got.
All right, here comes Trace. It's so exciting when Trace finally shows up, and we can hear what was
Trace Trylko, ladies and gentlemen.
We can hear what was said over there at the press conference. All right, one of y'all have to give him your headset.
Oh, for sure.
All right, cool. That one's yours anyway, so
First off, before we start anything today, I'd just like to personally speak to Trace and tell him I'm very excited he got a seat in the press box today. Yeah.
All right, I think that's backward. Okay, it's fine. It works. Trace? So you had a seat up there. We never really talked about it.
6:20 p.m. You messaged me. 2 words.
It's over.
It's over.
I did.
How wrong were you?
I did. I was wrong. I did, though. I thought for sure. What's Scott Frost have to say after that?
Scott Frost was obviously very happy. He said it was a blur.
Did he say I'm staying?
He was asked this, obviously, because of the news breaking throughout the game that perhaps Chip Kelly is not going to the University of Florida. He said that after today, that whatever Instagram, Twitter, Facebook that he has, that he may be getting rid of. And he was asked about his people having contact with University of Florida, and he said, I'm my people.
Wow.
Really?
That I'm my people.
Wow.
And he was asked what he'd be doing, rumors that he might be meeting with them. He says, I'm going to be enjoying Saturday with my wife and my baby.
Good.
So
Good. I love it. I love to hear that.
So
That's
he batted that down as much as you might expect that he would. But obviously a very happy team, an exhausted team. He said that he's giving them the rest of the weekend off, that they'll go back to work on Monday. He said there's just so much to process. It was a roller coaster of emotions throughout the game. He talked about busted coverages and things that they obviously have a lot of work to do on. And there were things that they said that they hadn't seen, or at least had not seen defensively since the East Carolina game of all games.
Right.
He referenced East Carolina and some of what they do defensively, giving a lot of credit to the school from Tampa. And everybody played. They gave it their all. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I just think it's so funny. We bring on Kyle Israel. We bring on Nick Patty. We talk about what do you got to do with Quentin Flowers? And what did they say? Right?
Everybody said stop the run.
Stop the run. Make him beat you with his arm.
He
Well, holy Christmas!
He tried. He sure tried. The yards, we were going over that earlier. The yards were incredible by
24
his arm,
of
so.
45 for 503 with 4 touchdowns, 135 on the ground with a touchdown, so 5 touchdowns and 638 yards. And remember, it was against UConn where we kept talking about he had 516 yards, all-purpose yards. So as he went, the team went. What was interesting is that the players were asked, Shaquem Griffin was asked, Mike Hughes asked, Shaquan Burkett, Mackenzie Milton, is this what you envisioned when you signed up? Coming out of 0-12, did you envision this? And what's interesting is that they said that they believed in Coach Frost in the vision, and so they're not entirely surprised that they are where they are now. One of 3 unbeaten teams left. They all praised the crowd, how much of a lift that it gave them. 3rd largest crowd at the home on-campus stadium, 5th largest home crowd for UCF.
What was the number, do you know?
I do know. I put it out on Twitter. I can't remember.
Okay,
46 something. I'd have to go look. But
It's fine. It's fine.
But, 49 points. They were right around their season average. And so, now American Athletic Conference Championship game, a rematch with Memphis. And Riley Ferguson is, maybe a better passer than Quentin Flowers. So they have work to do, but they're going to celebrate and enjoy this, and all you can do is enjoy what has been and continues to be a magical season.
How big was the smile on Mike Hughes' face after this whole deal?
Well, for him, as Coach Frost was talking about the blur of the game, just a couple of months ago, right, that he joins this team.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a part of training camp,
Right.
and the difference that he's made on the defensive side of the ball, and then comes up big special teams. Otis Anderson also spoke in the postgame. Never played in front of a crowd this big, and that just goes to show you the power of when the crowd is rocking and what that place is like.
Well,
it was an exciting atmosphere. And we were talking on the sideline. I hugged people that I knew. I hugged people that I didn't know. And I don't really like a lot of people, so that was a big deal.
I learned that. I learned that last night about Trace. Actually, I didn't know that, but that is a true fact. I could tell the Knightline audience that I'll co-sign that for you.
And it just such a special atmosphere. I think what will be interesting in debating about this now is where this ranks all time for UCF.
Wow.
For me, Fiesta Bowl is still the biggest win.
You
but
just missed Kevin Reese, and we were kind of talking about that. I wanted to ask him that question, but he was out really quick. But I mean, I think that this was absolutely huge. It does a lot for recruiting, number one. To see that right there and to see it on ABC. Yeah.
Well,
Ryan says 3 official visits.
Like I said, walking around here and just kind of talking to people and what they've seen and who they've heard from across the country and what they've seen on social media. And I'm sure maybe there was some of this conjecture in the press box too, Trace. All the national, people that we kind of look to and say these are the big dogs of sports media and all this. It was like they were all tuned into this game. And they all had an interesting take about just how interested they were in UCF USF. And I think that goes a long way and kind of maybe is sort of something that reverberates for years to come. It's not just a one-trick pony. It's something that kind of, once you put that on tape, once you put that out there in front of the country on ABC, people remember that. That's in the conscious now, and it goes out into the world as what they were able to put up.
It has more shelf life than today. And to your point, Colin Cowherd, you know him
He's
from radio.
Tough. Right. He's tough.
I just watched a college football game that felt like a combination of a track meet, rock concert, and the running of the bulls.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's a pretty good quote. And you had to if you're just a casual football fan, and that's who they'll attract the eyeballs of coming on after Miami loses, falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. A good lead-in for the UCF game on ABC, and what they then saw was a quick first quarter, 21 points for UCF. UCF 84 plays, 561 yards. The Cows 84 plays, 653 yards. So do the math there. That's 1,200 yards of total offense in this game.
Yeah, and the defense on both sides wasn't the greatest. It definitely was not a defensive game on anybody's.
Yet the defense, time and time again, had to bail the offense out and had to come up big at times. So.
I thought there when it was 21-7, I felt very confident at that point, and then all of a sudden things started to change, and I did. At one point, I texted Trace.
6:20 p.m.
6:20 p.m. I texted Trace, it's over. I thought for sure I'd be coming on here and saying, I even knew what I was going to say. I was going to say, well, that was fun while it lasted, is what I was going to say. And then we were going to go on it, and I'm sure the phone would have rung more than it's rung here. I'm shocked that the people don't want to talk to us.
I think people are probably... People are probably drunk right now.
Probably drunk and still screaming and going crazy. In Burger U, a couple times your UCF chant has just broken out. So we got people high-fiving and everything. It's crazy.
Well, one of the most penalized teams in the country is the Tampa team. They had 10 penalties for 102 yards. They had 3 unnecessary roughness calls back-to-back, there, and that was very damaging to them in the flow of the game.
And some unsportsmanlikes in there as well, which was good, I thought, and UCF cut it down a little bit from their normal. I think what was it, 6 for 30-something?
Yeah. For UCF, 6 for 38. You don't want to get critical. You want to enjoy this. You don't want to nitpick. But I thought there were some questionable running calls on this third and shorts.
I brought that up.
And we've so accustomed to seeing 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, in the running game and the passing game. A total of 4 wide receivers caught passes, and a total of 3 people ran the ball. It was, unless the quick stats don't have the whole thing. The quick stats that I'm holding is what they handed out. That may not give me everything, but we didn't see a lot of people that may have helped on the running game. Where was the big muscle?
Right. My question I'll ask you, Trace, and I posed this earlier. I didn't like
11 guys touched the ball.
Then the quickie stats then just give me the couple off the top. Sorry
but
about
I didn't like the way we used Adrian Killens and Otis Anderson tonight. I was like, why are we trying to kind of like put these diminutive skill guys that are great on the edges and in speed and in space? Why are we trying to pound them up the middle? Do we have a guy, Cordarian Richardson? Where is he?
Where was he?
Is he hurt? Do they just feel like as a freshman he's not ready?
I don't think he's ready personally.
They need someone like that, though. They do, because they need that diversity of running options.
Taj McGowan.
Where was he?
Where was he?
Yeah, for sure.
We've seen Otis emerge in recent weeks, a threat catching the ball, running the ball, and I was glad to see Adrian Killens get back to a little more form, but I don't think, to your point, that he's placed very well when he's got to be the guy that gets you a yard or 2.
No, not at all.
And it's all muscled up against the line there. I don't think he's the right guy for it.
All right, absolutely. Hey, let's take our last commercial real quick, and we shall be right back. You're listening to Knightline live from Burger U.
You've heard us talk about the great food at our good friend Kyle Israel's restaurant, The Little Greek Fresh Grill. The Little Greek now has franchises available. Please call 407-697-2272. That's 407-697-2272 to see what The Little Greek can do for you. Also check out The Little Greek's newest location at 3131 Daniels Road, Suite 104, Winter Garden, Florida. The Little Greek Fresh Grill. Fresh, flavorful, fabulous.
You know, I was just looking at the texts on my phone. I'm getting texts from people that I haven't heard from in a long time.
Wow.
So, people
my phone blowed up, too.
Yeah.
So I've heard from
I
people all over
imagine
the
when
place.
my phone turns back on, then it might have a similar
If you drained your
narrative.
battery again.
Yeah.
Jawan
Yeah,
Hamilton's dad says, UCF, baby, defense wins games. And that was nice to hear from him. Hey, you're on Knightline. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Matt, calling from Orlando. Just got back to the house after the game.
How long did it take you to get off campus?
Man, I got to really give them props. They had that thing moving fantastic. It did not take long, to be honest. Granted, we had to walk all the way back to Milliken Hall in the reflection pond area, but it was good.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, what did you think of the game?
It was incredible seeing that place sold out, packed. I've never felt the stadium move like that before. It was my wife's second game ever. And I think I just made her a lifelong Knight fan. She was singing the fight song, and she's still singing it at home right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I think if that was your first or second one, I think you would definitely be pretty excited about that for sure. That's a good one to be one of your first ones for sure.
Yeah, let's hope that they can all live up to that. But it was a blast, and that's what's going to make this rivalry great, games like that.
Absolutely. And we finally get one more in the win column. And we needed that for against the Cows for sure. So very nice. Anytime we can do that against the Cows, you know, we've been embarrassed by them before, and we got it. We got the win and the embarrassed here now.
The one thing that eventually here we need to do is we need to blow them out.
Yeah.
They've blown us out. We've never blown them out. If we win a game, we win it close. They need to get the doors blown off of them, and maybe that comes next year, but that will be the day that I wait for and enjoy quite a bit when it happens.
Well, they lose a very good player for next year, so, you know, with Flowers moving on, I don't know if he'll be in the NFL or not. I think maybe as a running back, he probably has a good opportunity.
Wide receiver, maybe.
Wide receiver.
Sure.
I don't think a quarterback, but you never know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's gone, though, personally. I'm glad that's the last time we have to face him. So, see ya, buddy.
Au revoir, Quentin Flowers. Au revoir.
Anything else from the anything else there, caller?
No, that's it. Just excited, and hopefully, like you said, we can go down and blow them out in our off-campus stadium next year.
All right, man. I forgot that you were there. We were kind of talking. I apologize, man.
Oh, you're good. Have a good night, guys.
You got really quiet, so I thought you hung up.
Go Knights.
All right, charge on, man.
Go Knights, charge on.
Thank you. That was funny.
As I see a green light, I'm like, he's still there.
I totally forgot that he was there. We were just kind of talking, and I thought he hung up. Some people, you know, say their thing and they're gone. So I appreciate you calling. I appreciate everybody that's called. I don't know. We got 7 minutes left here, so
I'm looking forward to going home and watching the whole thing over again. It happens so fast. The drives are so fast. By the time, you know, sitting up in the press box and you're typing things into Twitter and you're writing stuff down and something happens again. I mean, it's just crazy.
Absolute highs and lows. Unbelievable highs and lows for sure. All right, we got somebody else here, I think, that wants to say something, so this is great, though. We got all kinds of people on tonight. Move that microphone in front of your helper there, Trace, if you can.
There you go.
All right. We're working on it. We're having some microphone. Might have to turn it around, possibly. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
What's your name, and what did you think of the game tonight?
I am Jennifer, and I am super stoked that we finally showed up and turned it out.
Awesome. Yeah, unbelievable game tonight for sure.
What did you think of the atmosphere? I mean, the place was
Oh my
rocking
God,
tonight.
What an incredible vibe. I mean, sold out. The crowd was happy. Everybody was getting along, regardless of which team you were rooting for. I think we definitely had the general consensus of the arena. So I think I thought the vibe was absolutely incredible. Everybody was super happy and stoked to be there.
Very
did
cool.
you ever have any doubts, or did you think UCF would pull it out? That face, there was a little doubt.
I was getting a little worried there at the end. But I kept thinking, you know what, they're going to turn it around because that's what they can do, and nothing but faith in them. And, you know, been a fan for a few decades now.
Awesome.
So, very excited.
How does this rank for you in watching a UCF game in person? Most exciting ever?
This is the most exciting ever. I was here when Dante had his last season, and I moved away for several years. So this is actually my first game back here in UCF in Orlando for a very long time.
Oh, good.
And it's my first game at the stadium, so very exciting for me.
Very cool.
That's a pretty good first game memory then.
It really is. I don't know if I could ever top that.
At one point, McKenzie's touchdown pass equaled Dante Culpepper's record for second with 28 at that point. So Dante Culpepper, you mentioned in that era, comes up tonight, and McKenzie really showing that he can put up some numbers.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming and saying hi and talking to us. We really appreciate it.
Wonderful, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night and go Knights.
All right, charge on. All right, awesome. We've had all kinds of people tonight, for sure. Absolutely awesome.
This has just been a magical season, and there's still 2 games to go.
And it continues.
There's an AAC title game. And the energy that was there, I know the night games, when it turns to night, it really is exciting. And I love this. What I'm hoping is becoming a new tradition where everybody turns the light on their cell phones, because that whole twinkling of the stadium is just tremendous.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It is absolutely it's very, very cool for that to happen.
But we need the energy next week, and I know it's that dreaded noon game that people do not like, but the players, every one of them talked about the lift that it gives them, the energy. Shaquem talked about that he could not hear when they were making play calls on defense, and he said if we couldn't hear one another on defense, he knew that the offense was struggling to hear, and that is that 12th man concept.
I think that was the
UCF
first
needs.
thing I brought up tonight, Andrew, and I do think that it'll be a good crowd last night. I liked how they had that sort of almost, a PSA from Danny White right after the game to say, hey, we got a ball game next week, and we'd love for you guys to be here. I thought that was important. I think that will go a long way, and obviously just how many people were entertained and enjoyed this game tonight. Not only the people there, but as we've started to hear the people that weren't there, I think there's going to be some, as we call in the millennial generation, FOMO, the fear of missing out. I think there'll be some people around. I think there'll be some people around Orlando that'll have that element to them.
Well, now
that'll
there's
come
some
out.
buzz, right? And hopefully when this next round of college playoff rankings come up, UCF can move ahead of Mississippi State.
I would hope so.
And climb closer to that top 10, and they're gonna fight to keep them out. UCF is just going to have to be all the more aggressive to knock that door down and to get into that mix for everything.
Yeah.
And you talk about the emotion of this and the enjoyment of watching this. I talked to my sister, and she and the kids, they were loving every moment of it. And it's not their team. They obviously know it's mine, and they know I'm dying.
I know that UCF made some fans tonight or today on ABC, people that had never probably even heard of what was going on here, and all of a sudden now know, and hopefully will watch some more.
You know that factor of the cardiac nights.
Yeah.
We've been talking about we haven't had that same.
Well, we had it tonight.
We had it tonight. But there is something when you're blowing out a team by 30, 40 points, it gets a little bit,
stale.
But when it's like this, and you know that that's the way 2013 was, game after game after game, that really energizes the fan base.
I think that was probably one of the best football games that's definitely going to be on today, but probably the entire weekend for sure. One of the best games, the action in the game was incredible, back and forth. I mean, literally one play sometimes, back and forth.
And the players talked about that this is more than just a team that is unified. They speak often about being a family that cares about one another. And you saw a couple of players, Jemias Pittman, go down, and
Four
Coach
or five
Frost
times, I think.
talked about that he knows that this team is conditioned, but that they were cramping up a little bit, and that's something they want to talk about. But this notion of family is something they really talked about in the postgame, and how they're playing for one another and how much fun they had tonight. Shaquem talked about it, how much fun he had chirping at the other team, and everybody was jawing back and forth with the trash talk. And it's UCF that takes that big trophy. They enjoyed parading that trophy around the field.
Did they say anything about Pittman's health status going forward?
No health issues were addressed. Nothing seemed significant. Remember, UCF's, we talked about it, coming off the 6 days. The Cows had the 8. Now it's UCF that will take off Saturday, Sunday, begin a regular work week on Monday, and it's Memphis that plays on Saturday. So they have a little bit of a shorter week and have to travel here. A noon game on Saturday. Night Nation needs to turn out for that one as well.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's going to pretty much do it for us. We've been here an hour. I'm ready to go home and just kind of chill a little bit. And
I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Watch it again a couple times.
I want to hear final thoughts from everyone. I want to hear Andrew Phegley. You're always sort of deferring to everyone. I want to hear Andrew Phegley's final thoughts, and then Trace and I'll give
My final thought is 11-0, baby, number one. And, I mean, like I've said the entire time, an incredible football game out there tonight. Today, it just seems like it's a lot later. It's almost 9 o'clock.
3:30 is not a usual time UCF plays a game. So
yeah.
It's an
Oh,
unusual
my God.
time.
Downtown Orlando's got trouble. I'm on my way. Let me just say that.
One of the best football games that I've ever experienced, especially here, obviously. It couldn't have been more exciting. I wish I could have stayed to see the entire thing instead of coming here to set up. But, incredible emotions both ways. And I love to see it go back and forth like that. And I love to see the big plays and the kicked returns and the interceptions and the turnovers and stuff like that. It does not get any more exciting than games like that. And that's what I love about football. I'm re-energized. I've been saying I want this season over. I'm not ready for it to end. I'm not ready for it to end.
You told me that in the bookstore today.
I know.
You told me that in the
but
bookstore.
I've changed my mind now.
Good.
Because it got way more exciting. The championship for the American here on at noon next week. Extremely excited.
I'll share my thoughts. This game was a grind. It was brutal. There was a lot of bad in the way that UCF played. They were able to persevere and come through at the end, and kind of what Trace was talking about, that how they were urged on by the fans. I thought that was significant. I hope we see that next week. You just got to kind of throw it out, start Monday, work anew, start again against Memphis, get back to the basics, understand what you did to dominate a Memphis team early in the season, even though they're healthier, even though they've been on a roll, even though Riley Ferguson is playing at the level he's been playing. I'll say, Knights fans, buckle up, get ready for maybe another one of these heart palpitation type ball games. But at the end, what an amazing season for UCF. This is a game that Mike Hughes cements his place in UCF history, an unbelievable story in itself as just a one guy that came in, as you mentioned, just a week and a half before the season. Now he is a UCF legend. He'll go down forever. And
you
go
mentioned,
Knights, charge on.
You mentioned Mike. It was Mike Oresco, the commissioner of the league, that joined us just a couple of days ago, saying that they want a game like this with a national profile. I think he was happy watching it with his family in Connecticut.
Yeah,
tonight, this afternoon tonight, was college football at its finest.
There was.
It is a rivalry game. It was smash mouth. It was exciting. It was thrill a minute. And you can't help but, hey, listen, you're energized now.
Yep,
We'll disregard your text at 6:20 that it's over.
Well, I thought it was.
And,
I mean,
and just a sneak
I'm an
peek on
emotional
Memphis,
guy, and I at that point I believed that it was over. I did.
It was a 40-13 game here not too long ago, but was really 47. They scored on that last play. Remember, they don't have the same defense that the Cows do. You know, they gave up nearly 50 points to SMU just 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So while it may be a back and forth, then it was something that we talked about. What would happen if UCF had to get into an outscore? We thought they could. They could, they can, they did.
Defense wins championships. We need a little bit more of it next week. It's going to be a big one against Memphis, but we've got a lot to talk about tomorrow. I can't wait.
Sunday.
I'm excited.
Sunday.
Sunday. We have a day off. It's Friday. Oh my God!
Go
it's
do
Friday.
something tomorrow and
Trace
decompress.
Andrew almost cursed at the thought that he actually had a day off.
It's unbelievable. It's all good. Maybe that's why I'm energized. I'm energized again. I'm loving it. What an incredible ride this season has been, man. It's just insane. So, all right, well, check us out on Monday morning, Sunday night, whenever you get it. We'll be doing it Sunday night. I appreciate Ryan for being here. I remembered your name. See? Now you can work on a website.
You weren't
for
just
us.
caller. You weren't just caller.
No. Yeah. We had so many people stop by and so many people talk to us. Carson, again, thank you as always for every time you
I
come
love
out
it.
here.
I can't tell you how much I enjoy being with you guys. You guys are the best, and we got the UCF chants even going. as
Here's
we go off
another
there.
UCF chant. Every time anything comes on TV about UCF, the whole place goes crazy in here. It's awesome. People are just, going crazy. This place, I wish that you guys, I know the stadium was awesome, but inside Burger U here on that last 5 minutes of the game was absolutely insane in here. The bartenders were jumping. Everybody was just going crazy in here. So thank you to Burger U for letting us do this here. Thank you to everybody who called in and came here and sat here with your significant other watching. Greatly appreciate it. I'm Andrew Phegley.
I'm Trace Trylko. Go Knights!
Charge on.
Charge on.
See you later.
UCF, charge on to the field. With our spirits, we'll never yield. Black and